So you beautiful people, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is a camper's paradise, and it's literally camp or die. You hear it from people all the time when you have an opinion about the state of the game. Oh, you need to adapt, you need to adapt. But I don't understand why all of a sudden after 10 years, all of a sudden I have to adapt, I have to change how I play a game. The core ingredient of Call of Duty has always been a fast-paced Twitch shooter. That has made Call of Duty, that along with kill streaks, has made the game what it is. And for some reason, we have been forced this year, as if you're a rusher like me, to play the game in a certain manner, and I can play the game in that manner. I've proven this. There's a video down in the description adapting to Call of Duty, me adapting to Call of Duty, and I go 15 in 1, but I find it very boring during that video whilst I go 15 in 1. It's just not how I like to play this game. And I don't understand why the developers have chosen to go down the route of alienating their core fan base just to appease a slight new audience. Listen, Call of Duty has been out long enough to know that there's a steady amount of people playing this game. That number has tended to dip because the developers or Activision have done something to alienate the core player base. Now, if they really want this game to do well in numbers, then they need to make these changes that the majority of us are calling out for. Now, I understand for every offensive play, there is a defensive play, so you're always going to have campers. And to be honest with you, without campers, Call of Duty would never be the same. But campers were predictable in the Call of Duties of the previous generation. You had usually two types. You had somebody that it was usually a kid, 11 years old, just been brought a PlayStation or Xbox for their Christmas presents. Their parents have neglected to see that the game is for adults only, and then they play the game and they're sitting in the corner cowering to death, hoping that they see somebody pass them and take a shot at them, and eventually they start duck walking and moving slowly around the map till eventually they evolve and they become a player that runs around the map and plays the game just like the rest of us. And then you've got camper number 2, who tended to only want to troll you. Their sole purpose was to frustrate one person, 2 people, or maybe the whole lobby. That was their sole goal because it was forced chat back in the day. But it seems like there's been so many little tiny things that have been implemented in this game to ensure that good players and better players are heavily penalised. You can't do well in this game without something going against you. Either you try and rush and you get penalised for that because people are just listening to your footsteps and will sound whore you and ADS you to death. You will get into a good lobby, you will be dominant in that lobby, and you can rest assured that you will be promptly kicked out of that lobby, and you'll be put in something which is obviously to do with skill-based matchmaking, where you're firmly put back in your place as a dominant player, and then you end up back where you are. I don't think it's a coincidence that for almost every Call of Duty I have held a 2+ KD, and miraculously I can't hold one in this game, and neither can some people that I know that are really good players. They can't get it close to KDs they've held in the previous Call of Duty games. So that's pretty much concrete evidence to me that something has been changed to the detriment of people who play the game, how traditional Call of Duties have been played, and it caters to lesser skilled or people that really can't be bothered, because I am a firm believer that improvement is key in life. You must better yourself at things you do, and the only way you can better yourself is to put the hours of investment in there, invest your personal time to get better at something. That's how the best footballers become the best footballers, the best basketballers, the best rugby players, all that. They put the time in to get to where they are, so no one can ever question them about why they're at the top of their game. It isn't handed to them on a plate, but for some reason Infinity Ward want to hand gun skill, want to hand wins, want to hand kills to people who really can't be bothered to improve on the game at the detriment of people like me who will spend their money every year to play this game. Now, I'm not going to just totally derail Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The reason I'm making this game is because my frustrations are here mainly because this game is so close to being that Call of Duty that has been requested by everybody. And I know there are people that are going to be in the comment section, Call of Duty fans every year ask for change, and then when they get change they moan. Yes, we ask for change, but we don't ask for the game to be drastically changed beyond recognition. That's the problem with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I can't really recognise it as a Call of Duty game. In some aspects it feels like Call of Duty. The gunplay is some of the best I've ever had. But for everything good they've done something equally bad or even more just off the spectrum. Like, really? You've really done that? I mean, currently, Ghost is a massive problem. But not only is Ghost a massive problem, minimaps a problem. Everything is done to make sure that you can't be stealthily in this game, which is something I've always done. So there's my playstyle, straight out the window, binned. What do I do now? Are you really telling me that I have to adapt to the game? No, you're not telling me to adapt to the game. You're telling me to conform, and that's not what I want to do. I want to express myself in this game as I've done over the years in the same manner that I have always done. Things can change in the game, things can evolve to the game. Those things I will adapt to, but completely changing the game itself that I've always played till it's unrecognizable, that's a fatal error. And that's a fatal error for Infinity Ward and the likes of Infinity Ward as well. Activision, sorry. From you've got pro players and casual players singing in unison, then you know you've really got a problem, because it's usually one camp says this and then the other camp says the total opposites, and they're usually at loggerheads. Currently, we're in a situation where the majority, the clear majority, will say that this game needs to be changed. Take the stabilizers off for the newer players, because when I came into Call of Duty, as I've stated previously, I was rewarded for my hard work and my persistence. I persistently went into lobbies, ran out in the open and got decimated constantly till I had to learn and figure out a better way to play the game. And that's the problem with these days. Coming out of Call of Duty, people love mollycoddling people these days in real society. Everybody is expected to get some type of participation medal, even though they haven't justified why they should get it. And it's a shame to see that I usually play games to get out of that sort of nonsense, and now these political agendas are being pushed into games as well. You can't reward people at a game who are not... You're not going to keep players who just constantly do stuff like that, because there's no incentive for them. The incentive for me to play Call of Duty in the period of time that I have played it is, 1, to get better, 2, can you consistently change the way you play to a degree, not totally, to a degree, to adapt to that game. So yes, I'm willing to adapt openly, I'm willing to adapt, but I'm not willing to conform. There's the difference here. Camping is something I've never done and I never want to do. So why should I have to do that just to be rewarded in Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Guys, let me know that in the comment section. What are the changes that you think have to happen to this game for it to last? Because if it continues in the state it's in, then we unfortunately are going to see Call of Duty Modern Warfare be a downwards trend, which is a shame, because it's very clear the ecosystem is very healthy. My channel, Thunder's channel, 8 Thoughts channel, Tabor Hill, Exclusive Ace, look around you, J God, all these channels are doing really well, and there are channels who I didn't know of who are absolutely flying right now because of Modern Warfare, because there is a healthy base of people, especially with crossplay, that are playing this game. A little dog trying to turn up in the video, I've noticed. It is clearly the right clientele and the right base of people and community for this game to be the absolute best, but they better change things very quickly before certain people get fed up and disappear, because I've done it and I had a financial incentive, although a small one, to play games like Black Ops 4, but eventually I got fed up to the point where I was like, I'm done. And eventually people will get to that point with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You can't use a suppressor, because even using the suppressor will show you on the minimap. Ghost is rife. Claymores are everywhere with restocks. Currently, if you don't choose to use the M4 and the 725 shotgun and join the meta, you will be penalized for it, and that's not how Call of Duty should be. But at the same time, I'm not going to be totally critical, because there are plenty of things in this current game that remind me so much of Modern Warfare 2, and that is a massive compliment to this game, but it will never realize its true potential unless they make these changes, and they make them quickly. I know they've spoke about doing updates to the game, but as I've stated before, developers need to put that pride away and just give us what we ask for. We are the paying consumer here, so just make the changes. Put your pride away and stop giving us these half-hearted changes. Just change the game, because it's going to make you the hero at the end of the day, because currently you don't look like heroes at all. And you can go down the route of Fortnite if you want, you know. Maybe you're meant to do all this. Maybe you're meant to put the game out in the state that it's in, so you got new players in. Once they're sucked in, you change it back to how it should be, that the rest of us, like myself, think the game should be, and then you become the heroes anyway. Who knows? But that's all propaganda that I don't really want to get into. So guys, let me know down in the comment section what has to change for you in this game to make it the Call of Duty that I know it can be, and you know it can be. Guys, there are many buttons you can hit, but a like and subscribe button, I hope they tickle your fancy. And as always guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Go on, say it for me. Peace.